Okay, welcome everyone to the Subawards Session. It's just myself and Carrie today. Beth is sick, so we hope she gets better soon. But our agenda is going to consist of just some brief updates about the subcommittee in general and the volunteer situation. Then I'm going to turn it over to Carrie for Subaward Templates working group updates. And then we're going to stop recording and we're going to have a discussion about the NIH foreign subs policy and our FDP foreign subaward samples. And I have some prompts that I sent to the listserv on Friday, and we'll essentially be following those same prompts for an open discussion. So that is not a slideshow presentation. That's going to be more of an open discussion for people to speak up or drop their thoughts in the chat and whatnot. Okay, so regarding our standing subawards subcommittee, you may remember we've always referred to this thing as the Subawards Subcommittee, but it really was just 3 co-chairs and a couple working group leads. And so we wanted to establish an actual subcommittee, and we've done that. And I'm happy to say we've met twice so far. We plan to meet quarterly throughout each year. We have 18 active participants from around the country and various types of institutions, big, small, public, private. And the whole point of this subcommittee is to help build consensus and dive into some of the details around questions we get in the subawards inbox, so that it's not just one or a couple of co-chairs making decisions. So it's been 2 great meetings so far. I'm really looking forward to working with this group going forward. And to be determined and if and how we distribute like meeting minutes from those discussions, or you want to be as transparent as possible, but I don't know, we'll figure out if like just the 3 times a year is the best way to distribute like what we've been discussing and deciding, or if we have to do something else on the listserv. And also, when it comes to volunteering, it's time to bring this back up to 3 co-chairs like it should be instead of just 1. So you can go to the FDP website and indicate your interest if you are interested in becoming a co-chair of this subcommittee. And don't hesitate to email if you have any questions about what that entails. I'm happy to talk to anyone that's interested about what the time commitment is and what the responsibilities are and how that all works. But you have an opportunity to work with this standing subcommittee now and a whole bunch of really great volunteers that are part of our working groups. But we do need some more people to help coordinate and run the whole thing. So after having these 2 openings for a couple months now, it's time for me to move forward and fill them. So that's the update on volunteers, and I'm going to turn it over to Carrie to talk about templates.
Great. Thanks, Kevin. Hello, everyone. We will go through here just a couple things real quick. We can go to the next slide. So we wanted to talk about the process as it continues from where we are now for implementing the new template drafts. And also, we're going to look at the proposed template updates that are out there right now. And then we wanted to highlight the new website once again, just in case you're still not familiar with it and had any trouble finding those draft documents or the change request form and those kinds of things. So we'll take a few minutes for that. So go ahead, Kevin. Okay, so where we are now is in the gathering feedback stage on the templates. As you probably remember from hearing on the listserv and in previous meetings, we had collected a lot of suggestions from the community over the last year that Beth and I have been the co-leads of the working group. And then we also had feedback from the previous committee that we also took into consideration. We discussed all of that as a working group and then put out our draft revisions based upon that information that was coming in. Those were posted out in December for feedback, and they were on the website, and we did a listserv announcement for that. And there was a survey to provide any feedback on each one of the identified changes. So we have collected that feedback. That survey closed on the 15th. If you have any questions, concerns in the meantime, even though that's closed, then you can go back to emailing Beth and I directly if it's relating to those templates, or to that Subawards email address, which we will provide you here shortly. So we're going to take that feedback, meet in working group with that. We've already started through that process, looking through all of the information that came in and updating the items that had any feedback. And then we will be able to get those set as finalized versions and send out another announcement that those are live and ready to go to be used. We have a March 1st question mark date in here because that is our target date to have all of that out and available to you, but we are very close, so you may see that ahead of the March 1st date. So keep your eyes open for that. So we're going to also, again, do that update to the website, and we'll take down the draft section and replace the old versions with those new versions once they're ready. And just a quick shout out to the guidance group, who is also diligently working on updates to the FAQ and related guidance documents as well. So that is where we are with implementing the drafts or the updated proposed versions. Any questions coming in on that? I don't see any. Kevin, did I miss anything in there? I feel like I'm forgetting vital information.
Just a note on the effective date. It's really for version control purposes, and when we're going to make the change on the website. There's always a lag in how quickly institutions can adapt like the new templates to their systems and everything like that. But shortly after, we should be expecting to send and receive that version, like shortly after it's posted on the website. But it's not like it doesn't happen overnight.
Exactly. Thank you, Kevin. We'll also, I have a quick question about whether the crosswalk will be updated too, or if we will have that information available. Yes, we will keep up as a reference document, at least for the transition period, the changes, as well as any updates to crosswalks and guidance documents that are out there already that might need to be updated. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next section here, which is to go ahead and take a look of those proposed updates. This is the document that's out there with the draft updates. And so what this does is, if you haven't had a chance to look at this, we have the changes listed down in the rows, the type of change, and this isn't a rule set in stone about what type of change. We just tried to categorize them to give some more ease of use on this. And then a brief description of how this came about, what the concern was, and how we look to address that. And then the next piece is the checkboxes of which templates that affected. And so you'll see that, for example, the citation change affected 3 of those, and the adding a 45-day drop down changed 4 of those. Anyway, and then in the last section, we're just trying to pinpoint the section of the template or the sample that it is in, so that you can quickly go to those and review those and see where that change is. Briefly talking about the feedback we received on each of these through the survey. Didn't have any questions or concerns about item 1, which was a regulation change with the Mexico City policy that only affected the 1 sample, and we didn't have any questions on that. On number 2, adding the text box for the dollar amount on that fixed rate clinical trial template. That was a massive thank you. So yay. We addressed something that was affecting several users, so that's exciting. A lot of our feedback surrounded that 45-day option. Again, we're adding this. We'll be testing this out. The primary goal of adding the 45-day invoice option to the drop down, so you'll have 60 days and 45 as an option, is to address the invoicing concerns and timing related to lower tier subawards. So this is not designed to be used for other instances or other scenarios. And so we really will be talking about that in the guidance document, the FAQ that comes out surrounding this. This will be in the instructions for use. We really want to make this clear because we're still trying to be very supportive of one another and not provide restrictions unnecessarily. So in that spirit, really want to hone in the use of this item. So hopefully this will be a good experiment and trial, and that it will benefit those in those lower tier subaward situations in being able to make sure that we get final invoices back up the line in time for sponsor reporting. The next few are items that were citation changes, and that there was no questions on that one. The next one was a citation update in which there was a section regarding subaward documentation that was not previously included and should have been in the working group's opinion. So put that out to the group, and that seemed to have an overwhelming positive response as well, especially in light of Kevin's final topic on the agenda for today. And so that will be helpful as well. The research terms and conditions update. We got thank yous for that clarification. There was just confusion on that one because the language very much read back as the specific NSF site, so we wanted to make sure that there was clarity there. And then of course your links below further reinforce the clarity of that. The biggest aesthetic change is to the amendment template, the header piece of that. And there is no substantive change there. It's more ease of flow to more mirror the new subaward agreement. And so we're hopeful that that will kind of make that easier to fill out and easier to find information, kind of reducing some burden and time spent there. So again, not too much there. Some thank yous, but largely no comment. The invention reporting language, everyone was in support of that provided feedback on that one as well. And then the link updates for Department of Defense agencies, that was a thank you. And then we were also provided with reference to another link that was going, one of the NSF links that populates was going directly to a previous version of the PAP guide, that more specific link. So we'll roll that link back out. So if that was on your change list as well, letting you know that we got that information, and we'll be updating that as well. So we'll have that land on the PAP guide landing page so that it's showing you the most recent ones available on that page. So hopefully that covers any potential questions or concern in this space. As we anticipated, we did get some additional suggestions, and we can go ahead and go to the next slide, Kevin, unless there's anything we need to look at here.
Yeah, just a question from Kathy about if we could add a drop down for the reason why you're selecting 45 days as an invoice due date. And the answer is no, because there's only one reason. So if you look at this document here, it says, please limit other usage of this option. But we had our subcommittee discuss this and said, we will absolutely do not use this for any other reason. And when we update the FAQs, that will be in bold and in italics. And it's going to be one of those situations where, like, we get a lot of questions about, like, can we do this? Can we do that? And a lot of times it's like, well, we suggest this or we suggest that. But then there are some things where it's like, do not do this. And so with that being the only reason, lower tier subawards, we're going to kind of just leave it as is. But good question.
Absolutely. And the other thing that we discussed, which may be helpful thinking of everyone's next question, which is, what if we want to use it in a high risk situation or a situation where we need additional time to look at that? And so I would very much be in the camp of recommending that currently you have 60 days as the only option. So you have to employ other means to address the risk concerns or the timing concerns, whether that be additional follow-up, additional reporting requirements, interim basis for higher risk, or an entity where there's a lag in reporting, or perhaps that is backing up their end date, if that's possible, a few weeks to give you that additional time. So feel free to reach out to us if you have questions in that space. We had a very lengthy discussion, as Kevin noted, around this. So we feel like there's other options to employ here, that shouldn't be one that we use as a go-to in that situation. So excellent.
And to Veronica's question about, is this a trial that will be revisited after a few months of implementation? I mean, anything in the template is always like, if it turns out to not be working during the next round of revisions, you know, we'll look at it again and make changes. But for now, it's for the foreseeable future.
Absolutely. And I think this one in particular has had some history of coming and going. So we're just trying it again and seeing how this works, trying to address that lower tier sub concern. So we really appreciate everyone's cooperation and help in that, keeping that really tight. So some additional suggestions did come in, and like the other link that's broken, or not broken, just not as precise as we would like it to be. And so there were some other items that came in. So we wanted to let you know that we did receive those. They have been added to our working list for the working group. So what we do is we maintain a list of inquiries or requests for changes, and we discuss those all in group. And then if we slate those for update, then we keep them for the next update. If it's something that needs to urgently be updated, then we have the ability to go ahead and roll that out faster. So we will, the things that I did want to mention, we're going to grab again that link. And then the other one is we received a few notes that one of the templates still has a reference to DUNS in it. We thought we had grabbed them all, so we will absolutely remove that reference to DUNS and make sure everything is reflecting UEI. That we feel like through the feedback from the working group, the subcommittee, and general discussion with the membership community, that transition period is kind of done, and that we're okay to remove the reference to DUNS there and stick just with the UEI. So that one will also happen. We'll cruise all of the samples and templates and make sure that has been updated in each one of those. Another batch of questions, concerns, comments that we received, the solution, they had already been implemented. The solution was that the template needed to be fully downloaded to get all of the functionality. So if you're having trouble getting to a space where something you knew should work or did work before, just go ahead and double check for us before you send us an email that you did download the template and you're not just trying to use it in the view version. So for example, if you have not downloaded the template and you try to pull down other agency and then type in the other agency's name, it won't let you. You have to download that. And to run the new template, you have to be able to have the agency dictate the other things that happen in that template. You need to have downloaded that. So just remember to check that for us first before you email us. Also, shout out to the guidance. It's amazing, the FAQs. If you want to check those first too before you email us, sometimes there's some great information in there. Sometimes it's just something that you've forgotten is in there already, or that has been addressed in the FAQ instead of in the template. So just checking that, and then feel free to ping us if you think it's time to take a look at it again. We don't mind your emails. We love them. We like being in connection with the membership to make sure that we're doing what the membership needs us to do in this space. But some of those things you may be able to find a quick answer for. So again, we're tracking all the suggestions that are coming through, reviewing those through the standard process, and we'll grab them for the next update unless they're urgent. If you want feedback from us, let us know. We try to let you know that we received your request, and then if it comes out of committee that we're not going to take action, we try to provide you feedback on that as well. So if you've sent something in and haven't heard anything and it wasn't included here, please feel free to email me directly and we'll dive into that. And then again, shout out to the change request form. I think we talked about before, if we've got just a typo or something like that, you can go ahead and email us. But for some more substantial changes, please use the change request form. It helps us gather all the information we need to address that in the working group. Okay, looks like yes, I see the question in there, Kevin. Yes, we'll let you know when the updated versions are finalized and ready to go. They'll be moved and replaced in that section, but we'll also do a email to the listserv that those are ready. And the other thing you'll notice is that draft section will go away because it was only out there while we were in draft mode. So on the website. So if there's anything else there, Kevin?
In response to Chris, if we don't have attachment 3B as like a standalone file to download, we should do that. So that's a great comment. So we'll look at doing that so that you don't have to download the full subaward and pull out attachment 3B.
Excellent. Yeah, great idea. Okay, Kevin, I think the next slide is just a link out to the webpage if we have a second to do that. Just to quickly show everybody where those are. So if you put in your search bar, I mean, that link is there and the slides are available, but if you just put in your search bar FDP Subawards, this is likely going to pop right up for you. So the last item there, the draft templates for feedback, has the description and that information there. And then all of those draft forms are there. And then right above that, the supporting documentation link has the form for the requesting a change. So that is where those live. The rest of the templates are in the upper sections, and it's the new website is really easy to use and kind of just really lays things out really nicely. So hopefully as you get comfortable with the website, these things will be very easy to find, but do let us know if you're not finding something that you knew where it was on the old site. We're happy to help navigate to as you transition over to that. Right, and I think that's all I've got, Kevin. The last slide I had there was just emails to get a hold of us. So
just because someone is while we're here, Deborah,
yeah,
you can just click join listservs and you can choose whichever listserv at FDP that you want to subscribe to. So that's at the top right of the FDP website.
great. Any other questions on the templates? And you can keep questions coming in as we go through, but just. All right. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, I'm going to stop recording, and the second half of the presentation, which is hopefully more of a discussion than a presentation, will not be recorded.